Welcome back to Unsolicited Advice, the show where I take the letters you write other people and give my 2 cents. Let's see what we got. All right, so this letter is on asking Eric. Dear Eric, at the family Thanksgiving gathering, my father-in-law's girlfriend was asked to pass my drink to me. Instead of grabbing the cup on the outside, she put a finger on the inside and a finger on the outside to lift it, thereby making me cringe with disgust that if I had drank on that side, I'd be sharing her germs. Fair. This woman is just an awful, disgusting person in general. Oh, wow. She could probably be diagnosed as a narcissist. She is a hoarder and neglects her animals and is highly disliked by everyone in the family except my father-in-law. Quite frankly, she doesn't deserve kindness. So why did I not call her out on tainting my cup? Why did I pretend not to notice and only take a sip on the side I knew she didn't touch and never drink from that cup again? If she's so openly rude on a regular basis to all of us in ways like this at family gatherings, why couldn't I find the words to say how that was gross and she shouldn't pass someone's cup like that? Why was I keen on being polite rather than saying what I felt inside? Everyone was sitting or standing around the table when this happened, but I have no idea who saw it. So on top of shame on myself for not sticking up for myself, there is embarrassment that others might think me just as disgusting for acting like I didn't care that she did that. I wish I had the right words at the right time. Signed, Disgusted with Myself. Dear Disgusted with Myself, first of all, I understand why you're grossed out. Like, let's sidebar for a second. You know how you have the things of plastic cups? This is just general public announcement right now. You should open that plastic where the cups are. You should open that from the bottom so that when you grab the cups, you grab the bottom of the cups. I be going to y'all house sometimes, and when I walk in there, y'all have opened that plastic from the top, requiring all of us to now touch the rims of our cups and probably the rims of several other cups just to get a cup out. It is gross. Okay, so back to the letter. Totally understand why you're grossed out. I think the reason you didn't say anything is because you didn't want to ruin the holiday. I get that you don't like this person, and I'm gonna get to what you should do with that in a second. But I think the reason you didn't say, hey, that's a really gross thing to do, is because you were at Thanksgiving dinner. There's already all these dynamics. You didn't want to be the person to ruin the holiday, and I get that 100%. Now, that said, I can tell that you really, really, really do not like this person. Like, you really do not like this woman. You are abhorred by this woman. And my question is, has anyone talked to your father-in-law about how y'all feel about this woman? Or are y'all all just sitting around feeling a certain type of way and pretending to like this person? You didn't say whether or not anyone has ever talked to your father-in-law about it, but I think you would probably all of y'all would probably just feel a lot better if you just told your father-in-law how you feel. And I think you can do that without being like, never bring her around again. Hey, listen, we know you love her. She's gonna be around. Like, we get it, but I just want to tell you how I feel about this person. I think that type of honesty and openness can go a long way, and it can get it off your chest because you clearly do not like this woman. So get it off your chest. Say how you feel. He's probably going to be with this woman anyway because he loves her. You've already been accepting that. So tell him how you feel about the woman and move on. That's my 2 cents. Our next letter is from the Dear Prudence advice column. Dear Prudence, my roommate Tiffany lost her job 3 months ago. And since then, she's decided that I should cover all the rent and groceries while she figures things out. Oh. At first, I tried to be understanding because I know unemployment can be stressful, but now it's clear she's just taking advantage of me. She hasn't applied for a single job that I know of and instead spends her days ordering takeout with my money, binge watching TV, and posting TikToks about how hard her life is. When I finally got up the nerve to ask her when she planned to start contributing again, she went off on me, calling me selfish, privileged, and clueless about real struggles. Then she threatened to put me on blast on social media if I brought it up again. Tiffany has a decent following online, and I'm terrified she'll spin some sob story about how I'm a heartless monster kicking her while she's down. I don't know how to defend myself if she does that. The thing is, I can't keep paying for both of us. I'm barely making ends meet as it is. But every time I try to address the situation, she shuts me down and makes me feel like I'm the bad guy. I don't want to ruin our friendship. Friendship? But I also don't want to be her doormat. What should I do? Is there a way to handle this without causing a full-blown social media war? Signed, Terrified of Tiffany. Woof. Girl, you worried about the wrong thing. You should be terrified of being taken advantage of. I totally understand supporting somebody through unemployment. Unemployment is not easy. It's not an easy thing to go through, and this job market is really rough. So I 100% understanding trying to be supportive. But if what you say here is true, then you are being taken advantage of. And what I want to know is, why are you so hell-bent on keeping a friendship with a person who's clearly not a friend? A friend would not take advantage of you this way and then threaten to put you on blast on social media if you bring it up to her again. And then this part. I'm terrified she'll spin some sob story about how I'm a heartless monster kicking her while she's down. I don't know how to defend myself if she does that. Well, guess what, honey? She's gonna do that regardless. So, and likely, if you are terrified of that, she knows that you are the type of person that cares about narratives and cares about what story is, what people say about you and what story is put out about you. And so she's just taking advantage of it. My biggest advice to you is to stop caring about the story. People who want to spin a sob story on you will do that regardless. And if they know that you care about that and that that's a way to hurt you, then they will absolutely push that button. You know that you are not a heartless monster who's kicking her while she's down. You just have to know that. And you have to trust that the people who know you also know that, and that there are probably some people in her life who can see through her bullshit too. You just gotta trust that and stop caring about what the narrative will be. You cannot sacrifice taking care of yourself at the expense of whatever weird ass story somebody might tell about it. It's not worth that. That's my 2 cents. All right, our last letter is from Advice by Dan Coy. I have a very health-conscious husband who has begun worrying about what our 7-year-old eats, the amount of sugar, the amount of protein, the micronutrients, and so forth. I don't love some of the tactics he's used to get her to eat a wider variety. I've read a lot of Ellen Satter, and I'm philosophically opposed to making dessert, for example, a reward for eating some other healthier food. These days, that kind of thing is an everyday occurrence in our house. Unfortunately, for my way of doing things, the results of this shift have been admittedly amazing. Our daughter now eats all kinds of vegetables, got over herself and admitted that baba ganoush is good, tries olives, and so forth, all because dessert is conditional. Annoying, but that's not what my question is. My issue is with school food. This year, thanks to a community grant secured by our school district, there is free breakfast, lunch, and snack at our elementary school and aftercare. Yay, not yay. The school food is often like French toast sticks or a juice box. I know the systematic reasons why this happens, but the fact remains, all of a sudden, there are cartoons of chocolate milk and Uncrustables all over her school. Each day, we send her to school with packed lunch and snack. Unlike some of my parent friends, I do not find packing this lunchbox to be too erroneous. Unsurprisingly, like basically every kid on earth, our daughter is susceptible to the lure of ultra-processed garbage food. The problem has arisen when she has eaten the food instead of her home food. For a while, she would innocently come home with a full lunchbox and say, "I ate a waffle instead." Now her dad has been visibly concerned about that often enough that either she has stopped eating the school food or she has figured out that if she does, she should throw away some of our home food to compensate. I'm honestly not sure which. Is it fair to demand that an elementary schooler abstain from eating the junk food that all her friends are eating? Aren't we setting our child up to have all kinds of complexes about social class, nourishment, her body, and so forth? Or is my husband's expectation that she only eat the food we packed? Or if she eats a treat at school, she should report it, and to balance things out, not eat dessert that night after dinner reasonable? Signed, Irresistible Uncrustables. Irresistible Uncrustables. Y'all need help. No, seriously, y'all need to go see somebody. Y'all are obsessive. Do you see how long this letter you just wrote is? About some goddamn Uncrustables and French toast sticks. She's 7. She's 7. Yes, is it unreasonable to expect her to only eat the food you pack when she's at school? It kind of is. Yeah, like just change the approach. What you're trying to get her to learn is balance, ultimately. And I can tell he's trying to do that by saying, if you eat that, then you can't eat dessert too. But she is 7. Why don't you just figure out how to balance that on your own? Like, okay, so Monday through Friday, she's at school. She's probably eating junk. Then just don't cook dessert at home as much. That's what I would do. If I knew my kid was probably at school eating junk food Monday through Friday, then I wouldn't put a weird rule on my kid and say, don't eat what they are serving you at school and what you see everybody else around you eating. I would just assume that my kid is probably eating that at least a little bit. And Monday through Friday, I would not cook dessert at home. Period. If I were that concerned about it. I don't think I would be that concerned about it. But if I were that concerned about it, that is what I would do. Just only give dessert on the weekends, I guess. You can balance this at home. Give her less juice, less of those things at home if you're so concerned about what happens at school. But no, I think you're asking a kid to trade carrots and celeries for a goddamn Uncrustable. And I'm almost 40 years old, and I can't tell you for sure that if you put an Uncrustable in front of me and a plate of celery and carrots on the other side, that I'm not gonna go for the fucking Uncrustable. And I'm almost 40 years old. So yeah, it's unreasonable. Your husband is being unreasonable. Now, what you do about that, I don't know. He sounds like a pain in the ass. He sounds like a hellion. He sounds like if you bring this up to him, it's gonna be World War III in your house. That's what it sounds like. But you can figure that out. That's my 2 cents.